Welcome back, my credit fiends. Today we're going to be going over exactly how you can look rich using cars. And hey, look, we already know that we got a lot of car people on this channel, and you also know that you got to actually be rich. You can't just be out here flaunting it, but some people don't really got it like that, and they still want to look like, you know what I'm saying, like they dusting their shoulders off with this bag. So I'm going to tell you guys and give you a quick little tutorial on how you can look rich using cars. Now, this is the method, or one of these methods is one that I kind of use. So this is how I know, because when I used to pull up to school and stuff, people always just think I had money, and I'm like, bruh, can you give me some money for gas? Like, nah, bro, I don't got no money, but the car sure does look like I got money. So this is exactly how you can go ahead and look rich using these cars. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys a full little background on how you're gonna go about what the psychology is in this. And what you're gonna do is essentially, so this is what I did, okay? So I'm into BMWs, right? And I know, like, over the line of the course of the BMWs, they make that same looking model, but they just change things just a little bit. So back when I did this, they had made the 3 Series all the way from about 2012 all the way up until like 2018. And they didn't change the body style until like 2019. So whenever I was getting into this in like 2018 or so, I went ahead and got that 2013 model. And by doing that, it looked like I had the 2018 model, but I only had the 2013. And so it looked like I was doing something, like I was really running up this bag, but really it wasn't brand new. It was already used and stuff. So really we're gonna be getting at these used cars, these leases and things like that, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you how you can go about it. What are some different methods to go ahead and look for those types of things, or if you have to wait for a couple little models down the road. So you might have to wait a couple years in order to like make this work for you in your best interest, if that makes sense. Okay, so if they just came out with a new body style, and you're going to be lucky, okay, you're going to be able to get that one that they just previously made, but it's going to be a lot newer, because who's really driving the newest model right now, okay? And then once you fix it up, do some modifications and stuff like that, it's gonna look really, you're gonna look really popping, all right? So the first thing that I have for you guys is called swapalease.com. Now, a lot of people don't know how they can get out of their leases. This is a way for people to get out of their leases, or for you to buy somebody else's lease, so that way you're not locked into the full amount. If you like to switch cars a lot and stuff, that can also look like you have money and stuff like that. But maybe you don't want to start a full lease, you just want to have the car for like 6 months or 8 months and then switch to the next one. So swapalease.com allows you to do that. I'm into BMW, so all you have to do is either put in the specific model that you're looking for right here, or you can scroll down and you can see the popular makes that they have. So I like BMW, so I'm going to go ahead and click BMW leases. And when you click BMW leases right here, so I double click, you can go ahead and see it's going to give you the whole breakdown. It's going to give you the monthly payment, what the lease term is, how many miles you can drive per month. So if you scroll down to this one, right, it says they have 22 months left in this lease. This is their monthly payment. This is the car. You can see the pictures of the car. You can see here that they have the remaining miles of 17,000 over the course of the rest of the lease. So it'll go ahead and break down for you miles per month, 796 average or so. If you drive more or less, then obviously you can do your own math on that. And so it'll give you a whole list of various different cars on BMW's lease models, okay? So you can scroll down here and you can look, or you can go back and you can look at Teslas. We can go back and just look, see what they have, so you guys don't have to look on here automatically. If you like Teslas, let's say you only want the Tesla for 6 months, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be flexing for the next 6 months. You have a $600 payment, and then on top of that, let's see what we got right here. So this one right here, this one's not giving us exactly what we need, okay? So we're gonna scroll down and we're going to see. So they also have cars on here for sale as well. We don't really want that right here. We want something like this, okay? So this one has 9 months left. The payment's only $379. It's a 2023 Model 3, all right? And then you got 1,000 miles per month, so 250 miles a week. Where I live like where everything's literally across the street. Like I can walk to the stores and things if I really wanted to, okay? So a lease is really good for me if I want to pay all this bread for it, but I don't, okay? I don't do that. But if you want to and you want to look rich, this is how you can go ahead and get into a lease. That way you don't have the full amount if you're not really trying to be committed to that car for like freaking 3 years or more. The next thing that you can do is obviously go straight to the dealer's website. Here you can see that they're leasing this 2 Series for $399 a month, or you can go down if you really got it like that. You can keep scrolling down and you can see like a 4 Series or something like that. You can see what they're starting at. Now, obviously, it's contingent on probably your credit and things of that nature. But this is where it starts at, is based on, you know, how much you put down, as well as how many miles you want to drive each year, if you want the max mileage, or if you don't really care and you're going to go with the standard mileage. That's where all this is going to come into play. And the next thing that I have for you guys is kind of similar to what I was saying. If you know exactly the car that you're looking for, you can go ahead and look for it. Now, my advice is to look more towards bigger cities because they're going to have a lot more options. So if you're in the southeast, I would say like Charlotte or Atlanta or something like that. Now, obviously, you got to do your due diligence if you're going to go ahead and buy the car and make sure that everything's good maintenance wise and stuff, because obviously those bigger cities, sometimes, you know, those cars get ran into the ground and then they're trying to sell them. But what you can do is go ahead and go on here. Let's say, just for easy numbers, I like BMW, so we're going to go ahead and look at the 3 Series. So we're going to show all the models, and then we can also filter by the date too. But I know BMW, okay, they pretty much had the same looking the same style 3 Series since about like 2019, 2020 is when they changed that style over. And so right now, even in 2025, it looks pretty similar, okay? So you can get away with getting like a 2019. So you can see that they're starting at like $50,000, all right? And then if you went and you go ahead and change up that, dang, why all this popping up? If you go ahead and you change this, okay, let's change the minimum year to 2020, all right? And then you can go ahead and filter this by the oldest year. You can go ahead and see that you're getting a $50,000-$60,000 car for $23,000, okay? And the higher you go up in mileage, which depending on the car, you know, it depends on what you can get away with, how much you're driving it, things of that nature. If it's in good shape, then you might be able to get away with it for a little bit, okay? You can go ahead and finance this car for less than half the price it costs brand new. So you can ride around looking like, you know what I'm saying, like you're driving that 2025. You can change out the headlights, you can change out the tail lights, fix it up a little bit, and you're gonna be looking real poppin', okay? This car is about 5 years old, which isn't really that old for a car, to be honest. Like, let's be honest, who's out here driving 2025s every year? But if you wanna look rich and you wanna look like you got it like that, this is the way to kind of go, if you see what I'm saying. You get the oldest model that they have that looks like the newest car. Next thing that I have for you guys is obviously like salvage cars if you're going to go to an auction. So this is an auction right here. You can search, like I said, it's best to do it in the closest biggest city nearby because they're going to have a lot more options. So you can see that this is an auction over here and they run out of Charlotte, but I don't know why it's giving me all over the place. But normally I would look around like Charlotte or something like that, and you can scroll down here and obviously you're going to have to go and do the bid and stuff like that. But as you can see, they have the bids on the car. I would suggest, like, you know what I'm saying, you going in and looking at the car and stuff like that. But obviously some of these cars are going to have problems. So if you're able to be more hands-on, or you don't mind changing out a few things, then you could get a pretty sweet deal on a nice car that you like, that's pretty much brand new, but maybe it needs some things changed out. You could pay for the engine or something like that, and you can kind of get away with it. And these are pretty much all of my tips and tricks on how I can go ahead and get that car and make me look, you know what I'm saying, we can look real rich, or how you can go ahead and look rich using a car. But in all reality, we really want to own property. We really want to own things. We actually want to be rich. We don't want to just look like it. And that's why I don't really do this anymore, because I got tired of looking rich and not really having the part, if that makes sense. But in a sense, if you don't care and you really are a car person, like I said, I know we got a lot of car people on this channel, then this is how you can go ahead and do just that. I hope this helped you guys out, and as you know, we fiending for that credit. If you got any questions, leave them down below, or you can go ahead and DM me on Instagram, Twitter, or even on TikTok, or you can visit my website, creditfiend.com, and you can go ahead and email me a little form submission and I'll get back to you. Hey, we fiending for that credit.